Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by BB. There is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about markets. And what a week to talk markets, guys. I feel like there really hasn't been as many "it's so over, we're so back." And we've had a lot of those weeks in the past, but this week I felt like really encapsulated the duality of markets. A good time to zoom out, obviously, respect high time frame levels and trends. And obviously, we're going to talk about that. But first, guys, I'm Tommy. You also know me as Snorlax. I'm joined by Max, Tucker, and Big Louie. Welcome, guys. We are going to send you off into your weekend. I can't believe it's already Friday, but holy cow, what a week. Right? We were expecting a bunch of big news. We got a bunch of news, right? I think the market is still deciding whether or how much it likes the news, but it goes without saying, if you would have told us a year or 2 years ago that we would be having a week like this, that presidential, no longer candidates, but the new presidential administration and Congress would potentially be discussing favorable crypto legislation in the first week of office, I don't know that I would have believed you. But before we can get into the charts, before we can break down everything going on within the crypto ecosystem, guys, I'm going to ask you to slam that like button for us. It's been a big week. We've been here for you guys, covering all of these wild swings on price. It really has been a week of "it's so over, we're so back." I mean, we've been at the range lows, the range highs. It feels like almost every single day. Hoping for some clearer directionality next week. Let's see what we get. But yeah, at the end of the week, Bitcoin is at $106,000. ETH is at almost $3,400. We're seeing mixed performance across the board. We're seeing some mixed performance across the board from altcoins, which shouldn't be a huge surprise. It's pretty much been what we've been talking about this week, right? It's very difficult for altcoins to be able to find their footing when you have majors just doing this up and down price action that they've been doing and just churning the order books on a lower time frame, right? Altcoins crave certainty, and recently they haven't really gotten it, but hopefully next week they will. And like I said, we will be discussing some of those altcoins today. Some look better than others. We'll probably talk a little bit about DeFi today as well. There seems to be something going on with Rune token worth discussing. And yeah, equities seemingly a nothing burger. Did we have the BOJ decision already?
They hiked by 25.
They hiked,
Yeah.
So maybe we talk about that as well. Equities don't seem to really be doing too much, and volatility is once again getting smashed. So that is the slate as we head into the weekend, but it has been a busy week. I am looking forward to this weekend to kind of, I say I'll detox from the charts. I probably won't, and you guys probably won't, but to some degree, it's like a little bit of relief to not have to worry about equities for 2 or 3 days. But what are we seeing in the markets, guys? How are we reflecting after the week that was? Because I mean, even though we're kind of trading at the exact same place as Monday or pretty close to it, I would bet, there's obviously been quite a lot of volatility intra-week.
Max has it on log, of course.
What happened?
He can't help himself.
You wouldn't get it.
What happened to it?
They froze the chain because they're insolvent.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
Now they're
So the
minting
chart-
tokens to save
So the chart
pay.
looks like this, and they froze the chain. What do you think happens next?
I think one of my buddies is a big rune guy. I gotta let him know. You get out.
Yeah, you should let them know.
Definitely, you should.
So, Tommy, you are the most educated on this topic so far. In another sense, you're the man who's on the buttons. Would you please explain what is going on here? And also, please just acknowledge my logarithmic trend line. I'd like to know your thoughts on it.
I hate to start the show on such like a negative looking chart, but yeah, it is pretty volatile over in the rune market. And I do like the log trend line. I didn't even notice it when I was charting
That's
it.
why I'm here, brother. That's why I get paid the big bucks.
Does anybody remember? I don't know how to say it, but like Gallo Capital, like GALOIS. They caught the Luna trade
Oh,
in 2022. They blew up in FTX, unfortunately, but I mean, they were one of the people banging the table about the Luna trade, and the founder has been kind of like very quietly banging the table over the last few weeks about Rune potentially being another scenario like a Luna. Obviously, the systemic shocks are not nearly as widespread as Luna, but still, it's notable when you have an asset dump that hard. And I think just the momentum that we're seeing right now, the cascade, basically, for those who are unaware, they paused the chain because they're effectively insolvent with bad debt and leverage. And I think they're trying to mint more tokens to sell to be able to try and restore that peg. We've all seen this playbook before, guys.
Is it inappropriate to do this side by side? Is it too early to do that or no?
I don't think it's inappropriate. Like this is the window of vulnerability for Rune, right? Where if you're going to see it cascade, it likely occurs within the next week or so. If they're going to save it, it likely occurs within the same time window, but the mechanisms are fairly similar, and it looks like they could be headed, to the same place. So
Wow.
I think that this is worth watching, not just for Rune. And obviously, if you are a trader, great volatility on this asset. But, I will be paying attention to what this means for things like Bitcoin and ETH as well.
Tommy, was Galois? I think that's how you say. I think it's Galois Capital. Were they the ones that blew up shorting Luna?
No, they're funny. They only took like 3 trades in 3 years. They longed Bitcoin at the COVID low. I think they shorted the top of Luna. I can't remember what the third one was, but it was very profitable. And then they had all their funds in FTX, so they blew up, unfortunately.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But who was the one that was short Luna during the drop and somehow got liquidated?
I don't know. I'm sure somebody did.
Somebody died. It was like a big. God, I wish I remembered who it was. Are you fractaling that, Max?
Don't worry about it. Just keep talking.
Oh my.
Nah, I mean, is like Rune Chain that like are people that involved in it though? Like, I mean, Luna was huge, right? Rune Chain is like, yeah, like, I know what Rune is, but like, I never hear about Rune. Like Luna, when it blew up, it was like the talk of the town.
Right.
It's definitely not as big as Luna was.
It's definitely not. I just wonder what sort of chain reaction does it cause elsewhere if Rune were to hypothetically go to 0? You just never know.
Let me just be clear about something. We're not rooting against this. We're just reacting to like the headlines that we're trying to digest and view this as more of a PSA than anything, in case you have money around Rune at all. I hate how much the fractal fits. I'll be honest, Tommy. I don't know. It's kind of wild, actually.
It is.
Yeah, like I'm hoping that we don't see a final sacrifice before what I think is going to be alt season. But yeah, I mean it's scary. Like it's vulnerable. It's in a very vulnerable spot right now. So we'll see what happens.
The wreckage, brother.
I mean, what happens? So Tommy, like, help me understand this. They've paused the chain, and they're minting more Rune. What happens when they turn the chain back on?
I guess game theory is my response. I guess we'll find out. What would you do if you had funds trapped on Rune?
Well, you were panicking. I was depositing more to FTX to long.
Yeah.
Wait, did you see this comment?
Oh god. Yeah, I feel like that was like yesterday, man. It's crazy how far we've come from there.
I have no idea, but it's scary. I really hope they figure it out, man. I would hate to have to deal with that because you just don't know what kind of
ripple effects,
collateral damage you're gonna have, because Rune is so involved with like everything, man. Like yeah, man, like
shit.
The amount of assets that are tied up in like their ecosystem, it's not gonna be just a Rune fallout, right? It would short term there would be some other fallout. I don't know what it would look like, right? Like I actually don't know much about Rune. I've never used it, but I don't know. When Tommy's Spidey senses start tingling and I don't know. Typically here's all I know in crypto, and I don't want to add fuel to any fire, right? And I don't think the show is big enough where it would, but all I'll say in crypto is it pays to be the first one out the door when there's a panic, right? You don't want to be the exchange hero, you know? I don't believe the FUD, you know? It's typically not such a smart decision, right? But I hope that they figure out whatever is going on here.
Yeah,
but
I narrowly escaped the BlockFi.
Same, Louis. Same.
Well,
BlockFi almost got me.
I had like a large chunk of my money on there because I just had it and I was getting yield on it. And I remember I was literally like, just one day I was just scrolling Twitter and this random Twitter account was like, you know, something about hearing rumbles about BlockFi like being insolvent, whatever. And the minute I saw that, I was like, all right, it's not worth the risk. So I literally, in the next like day or two, I was completely out. And about a week later, everyone who had funds on there got completely locked up. And, you know, they started paying back, I think this year, but it took about 3 years, 3.5 years, something like that, or 2 years just to, you know, get a portion of your money back. So I narrowly escaped that one just because when I saw that there was a hint of a risk, I was like, it's not worth it. Get out.
Did you guys end up getting hit with any like clawback emails from attorneys? Because I know if you withdrew within like 30 days, at least for FTX, people were getting emails about, you know, you have to give us this money.
Yeah, right.
Which is insane.
Yeah, okay, come get it. But no, I think
I got a lot of scam emails. Like I didn't really use FTX too much, but I feel like my emails got like leaked from Coinbase or something like that. I don't know where else it would have come from. And they're like these really official looking emails about like Celsius and FTX. And I was like, I never use this shit. Like, what are you talking about? I just don't respond to them. I feel like they're just phishing, but yeah.
Yeah, so I think
anyways,
I got out early enough.
We will keep a close eye on this this here fractal, I guess.
Yeah, I think this is worth watching this weekend.
Just another day in crypto, right?
Just something else.
This is what Tommy will be doing all weekend.
Yeah, Tommy was like, I can't wait to decompress and not watch the charts this weekend. He's going to be just every 5 seconds watching what Rune is doing this weekend. Enjoy your Saturday, Tommy.
Do we have playoff football tomorrow at least? Or is that only Sunday?
No, it's only Sunday. Big game, Tommy. Big
It's a big
game. Big game.
It is a big game.
You know the track record of the Chiefs and the Bills in the playoffs, brother. You know the track record.
I do. I know I'll be rooting for Josh Allen, but
no. No, you won't. Oh man.
The other game is pretty intriguing too, Washington and Philadelphia. But
dude, Washington kind of out of nowhere.
Jane Daniels is that dude.
He is. Yeah, I was not expecting the Lions to suffer that fate last week.
That defense just detrimentally bad, but
yeah.
What you got for us, Max?
Well, I mean, Bitcoin looks incredibly bullish here. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's like kind of building value at the highs here. It looks really, really solid here. This is the daily time frame. And I think when you kind of add this component into the mix here and you look at just how egregiously heavy DXY is looking here, rolling over at the perfect spot. I can't help but think we see this weakness in DXY reflected in some strength, even as soon as next week for our risk assets. I guess my one, let's do this, right? So, ignore the Luna fractal. Sorry about that, guys. Don't mind that.
Let's hope that does not happen to the dollar, because then we have some bigger problems.
Yeah, that would be not good. That would be very, very bad. So let me save these.
Someone opened the stream to that and just had a heart attack.
For sure. It's probably not going to be a Luna type situation, guys. Like Luna was much, much bigger. It came in a much different part of the market cycle. Like it's just a PSA, right? We're just in case something happens. It's better to consider everything than to just assume that nothing bad will happen, right? So let's look at DXY in 2017, right when Trump was inaugurated. So Trump took office. It was right here, roughly. Okay. And this time around, Trump took office right here. Right. So when I look at this, I say, yeah, it's somewhat similar, right? Somewhat similar, certainly a little bit different. I would say like the most similar component of this, DXY gonna puke, is honestly this, crazy trap that we had in 2017 above these highs. Let's see if I can get it to fit here on the chart. You had that kind of crazy trap, and right over here, you kind of had that same trap, right? And the red line is when Trump took office. And I can remove these little lines right here. So I just can't help but think like, it just feels so similar to me, right? It just feels so similar. And then you even had like, the deviation of the low. We'll even put a little sweep right there, right? You had that same kind of sweep before the, the blow off top. Trump takes office basically at the top of the blow off for DXY. And then you see, boom, right? So here, I'll even label these. We'll make it look. Trump takes office 2017. Trump takes office 2025. So, we could even maybe like massage this up a little bit and be like, this was the breakdown, right here, kind of steepen it up a little bit, but you get the point, right? You get the point. DXY looks abysmal here, guys, like absolutely abysmal. And it's printing a really similar pattern to what happened between 2015 and then when Trump took office in 2017. And now let's put Bitcoin down below. And that was the best part of the bull market. So I'd love some thoughts from my teammates here. What do we think, guys? Same, or nah?
Same.
But different.
Same.
No different, Louis. No different.
But still same.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
crazy.
it is. It's so funny because I remembered literally a couple weeks ago, I woke up and I was watching CNBC and I was following the Dixie chart and I was talking about this trap scenario for a while, like a run of the highs, like we saw in 2017. And we were in the Dixie was in the process of breaking those highs. And I turned on CNBC, 10-year yield was breaking out, or at least trying to break out. And, it was just so funny hearing the comments like DXY going to have like a strong year, going to continue rallying, 10-year yield is going to go to 5-6%. And I was sitting there laughing to myself. I was like, this is my confirmation that this is definitely a bull trap on the DXY and the 10-year. When the big talking heads on the TV screen are, and if you're watching us on a TV, don't include us, but when the talking heads on the TV on CNBC and are all bulled up or all in consensus that one thing is going to happen, likely the opposite's going to happen, 9 out of 10 times. And I was just sitting there laughing to myself. I was like, yeah, this is, this was good. I liked that they were all getting excited and bulled up on the dollar, the 10-year, because in previous cycles, we've seen this same trap before, right? And people just fail to look to the left of the chart and use the data that we have from previous cycles for some reason. So pretty much expected and loving to see it play out the way it is. And I still think for the dollar 106.75, that's the level we got to get back below, right? So we're coming into support, which is range highs. We might see a little bounce off there, right? A little dead cat bounce, maybe putting a little complacency shoulder. But, eventually we want to see price get back below 106.75. And that will probably trigger, a similar down to what we saw in 2017.
I mean, I completely agree. I just think the dollar is going to tank here over probably the course of the entire administration. You zoom out a little bit more on the dollar, Max. I think the only logical conclusion of the structure dating back to 2015 on the dollar is that we end up to go take those lows of probably the previous Trump administration, down there near the mid 80s. I think we get there eventually during this administration. It's not going to be a straight line, but 3 to 4 years is a long time for the dollar to come down.
Dude, I would sign up right now for like 90, 96. I would love low 80s.
2 years. 2 years.
I mean, here's the thing is I could see a big bounce at this level, right? I could see a big reaction here, at least short term.
There will be bounces along the way, but I think eventually
we'll be rich by then, Max. We'll be rich by then.
I'll be in Cancun golfing by then. Well, I mean, here, look at this thing. So actually, Will drew this trend line a long time ago. I remember it. It was like this, right? Like maybe you could get like a temporary, like this kind of thing, and then you just, but we'll see. It's so similar, man. I just know what's coming, I'm just getting tired of waiting, but like I know what's coming. Boom. Like, dude, this DXY chart, if this was a shit coin, do you know what we would be doing to it right now? Do you know what Tommy would be doing to this shit coin? If it was like poop coin USDT on Hyperliquid, do you understand the amount of sell pressure that this individual named Tommy would be applying to the charts as we speak? Dude, he'd be bullying it, He'd smack it around, it'd fall to the ground, it'd get back up, he'd smack it again. I mean, he'd bully it. It would be brutal. It'd be hard to watch.
I forgot about Tommy's bully list last bear market.
Dude, Tommy in the bear market is a fun channel to have on alerts in the Discord. Shorting Matic with size. With like the craziest.
You can see the OI come in.
What'd you say, Tommy? You're frozen. Shoot. We'll let him unfreeze. Someone said put Luna Fractal on DXY.
I
don't think we want that, bro.
We don't want that.
We got other problems.
You can't have that now.
No, we can't have that.
Tommy's got the red ring.
Yeah.
The red ring. What a reference, Louis.
You.
What a reference. Wow.
Classic. I used to wrap my Xbox in a towel. That worked for a little bit.
Dude. Max, you wouldn't get it.
You wouldn't get it.
Nah, I wouldn't get it.
There he is.
Yeah, no, it does look like something I would short. It looks like a fake breakout on a higher time frame, right? We had a second opportunity to try and break out from that high, and we've seen a lot of on-chain coins play out this exact same pattern where they try to break out and they fail. And then what ends up happening is they just crash all the way down through support. And then end up forming another base and reaccumulation range. And I kind of think that's what's going to happen to the dollar over the next probably 5 to 10 years. But obviously, it's a very long-term thesis. We did talk about how the inauguration was kind of expectations meet reality. We were all expecting, a bit more of a fiscally conservative government, but I'm gonna say the line, like Bart. It's a populist president with a full mandate from the public, so they're going to be spending money.
So, Tommy, is there a point where you think that too much DXY weakness is actually bearish for risk?
Eventually. I mean, Dr. Outlook has actually pointed this out. You usually have seen like the biggest declines in the market actually when the dollar is rapidly depreciating. You can highlight something like 2008, 1987 for specific examples of this. 2021, 2022 is a little bit different, I think. But yeah, we've seen in the past some of the biggest declines in the market have typically come from, I think it's mostly driven from like the rapid decline in the value of collateral. And so what ends up happening is that people probably just get way too overexposed, way too out ahead of their skis as the value of their baseline collateral goes down. And yeah, they just accidentally end up doing what Japan did in August, I think, liquidating themselves.
Liquidating themselves. Oh, man. Will you pull up USD JPY?
Oh boy, what happened?
I don't think anything, right?
Oh, okay.
No.
We
we're
never
good.
look at like Forex pairs unless something is hitting the
Well, just because they hiked rates last night, I just wanted to see. Yeah, we're good, man. We just can't have that thing like spiraling downwards, but we just want like a nice slow downtrend on it, is what I picked up on. So it didn't have a huge move down from their rate. Like, remember back in August, they just talked about hiking rates and the thing fell off a cliff. So
funny. And then they totally backtracked.
Yeah, then they totally walked it back. And then last night they actually hiked rates, and I think we're good. So
I still can't believe that worked. That they were just like, yeah, actually, we're not going to hike rates. And the market was like, all right, we're fine. Oh,
yeah. What is this? Pepe.
Something I
Good
didn't
bounce
add
out
on
of
it
the
to get
frog
this
today.
out. Huh?
Good bounce out of the frog today.
It's called a hop, Tommy.
Called a hop.
Got him.
Are we living in a simulation or what the fuck's going on here, guys? How's this possible? See the December 9th trap?
All I'm
Both
saying
times.
is observe ETH Denver. Observe it.
So ETH Denver was right here. This was the start of ETH Denver. Right here. So this was like the first day of ETH Denver right there. So
yeah.
So
what was it? 1100? Oh, that's off the bottom. What's the exact percentage from like the first day of ETH Denver?
$700%.
Little 8x for Pepe.
I mean, if not Pepe, then what? You know.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt it's actually gonna, go to what, 80 billion in a
You
week.
doubt?
In a week.
Oh, that's cute that you doubt.
in a week.
Crazy.
But I
Your
mean, 40,
pessimism
50,
your
60.
pessimism is crazy today, bro. I can't believe you just said that.
You think it's
Wow.
gonna go to 80 billion in a week?
I'm done talking to you, bro. I can't believe you just said that.
Oh no.
Your bearishness is disgusting.
All right.
I'm sorry that you guys in the audience had to hear that. That was inappropriate.
I'd be euphoric if it did that.
Oh, we would all be euphoric, man. We would all.
Brother, you'd never see me again. That's the problem. You'd never see Max again. Max, you'd be like, where did Max go? And like once a quarter, well, you have no idea where I am. You would just smile knowing that I'm somewhere with my family, probably on a boat, sailing around Europe. And there's probably a giant Pepe, Andy, Wolf, and Brett logo on the side of it. And it would bring a smile to your face. But for real, like, this is what we're in for, guys. This is what we're in for right here. ETH clears this level. We're sending to Gorillions. And that's the last I want to hear about it. They hated on me. They kicked me while I was down. They said Vitalik was a bad leader. They said it couldn't be done. They said there's too many memes, it's diluted. You're going to eat those words, bucko. You, my friend, I'm inventing a new word for you. You are a mega bucko. Okay. And if you say mega bucko without my permission, it's 25 cents. Okay.
Rather than what? Oh, is it 10?
Mega demand is 10 cents. You all owe me money. I have a list. If you say mega bucko, 25 cents. It's going to get expensive.
No need to say that. No need.
Anything. Here's the thing: is if you try to get sneaky and work around mega bucko, you still get penalized because I know the intention behind the crime.
50 cents. Yeah.
Right to jail.
But yeah, I mean, this is your January Jeet for ETH and for Pepe. Okay, here's the January Jeet. And when you get back above it by the middle of February, maybe sooner, we'll see. Last year we got above it February 15th.
Oh no, not another 3 weeks, Max.
No, we're good. February 14th. That was when we started the trip to Valhalla. Bang. It's going to happen. Study believing in something.
You must.
Do
you want to be the soy jack bear that's crying? Or do you want to be the Giga Chad who believes?
I believe, Max. I believe. I believe.
We believe. We believe.
Could we go lower? I don't care. You don't understand that, like, there's a point of there's no return for me, you guys. I sailed to the island. I burned my boats. I have no choice but to conquer. Study Cortez. You wouldn't get it.
The masculine urge to conquer.
Yeah, that's real. There's no quit, you guys. You don't understand. This either plays out or I'm going to be here when I'm 50 years old trying to make it happen somehow, some way. You don't understand that there's no quit and there's no return. This is happening. ETH is going to double or triple. Pepe's going to go to 100 billion. Andy's going to go into the billions. Wolf is going to go into the billions. Jeets will cry. That's the prophecy. Some will be here with me, some won't. Many will fall along the way. Many have. Some have questioned my commitment. To them, I say, you don't know me. It's going to happen. Someone yanked me off the soapbox already. Dear God. You guys need to know when to cut me off.
I know.
That was
Tucker, go back to fudding Pepe. Come on. something.
Fudding Pepe.
Wait,
that is
Yeah,
a
you said
missed
80
stretch.
billion couldn't
Fucker
happen in
fucking Pepe?
45 days.
That
That's
is
FUD.
a stretch, Max. That is a stretch.
Bro, you said 80 billion couldn't happen in a month and a half. That's FUD,
no,
brother.
and I said in a week. I said in a week.
That's still FUD, brother.
all right. If
You
that's
wouldn't get
FUD,
it.
if that's FUD.
Yeah.
Now here's what I would like to show on Pepe, and this is quite nice. It's the same as here, man. It's the same as back here.
I give you permission to use Mega Demand. You have a coupon for it if you'd like to
A
use it.
coupon for Mega Demand.
Yes. One-time usage of Mega Demand.
Okay, this is Mega Demand. Okay,
Bang.
Mega Demand, and here is what I'm thinking that we're here. Okay.
But quicker.
Yeah, but quicker. Basically, like this little move was like this, right? But I guess we did sweep the wick that time. We didn't this past time, but either way, I think this is kind of, and this lines up with what you were talking about back here, basically, right? Where it's like, okay, we're just gonna kind of bull chop for, let's just make this like blue. We're just gonna bull chop for a little bit. This will be ETH Denver or something like that. And then we're gonna send. And that's this move from back here too. So probably something like that, basically. Because Pepe does the same thing over and over and over again. Like it did this, and then it did this, and then it did this. Like it puts in a big leg, and then it does a little like falling wedge deal, big leg, same thing.
It makes sure that there's no one on planet Earth that will ever catch a leveraged long on perps, is what it
Yeah.
does.
Never.
Never.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you probably could have caught a nice one on the sweep of that wick. That was probably a giga brain move if you caught that, but because I don't really think you're going to get another sweep of that because ETH, it's time for ETH, man. It's time for ETH. We're having a little trouble at our normie trend line, of course. However you want to draw, you could draw like that, breakout, right? But
Need to paste that ETH can't pump me.
I can't pump.
Yeah, basically. So 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Okay. Oh, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's 2. Study these drawings, okay? Study them.
Professional TA.
That's professional stuff. They can't you can't teach that right there.
You have to be born with that kind of skill.
Yeah,
I mean-
observe this. Okay. Fourth tap here, target. Louis, what's the target of a normie falling wedge?
The top of the wedge.
The top of the wedge, yes, the top of the wedge, which is 4K, which will be our fourth tap at 4K. We all know what
Cheeto.
happens. What do you think 4 meant?
What do you think?
Well, I've been thinking about like the rule of fours way more frequently recently. I won't lie. Part of me was wondering like how many Trump headlines have we had related to crypto, and on the fourth big one, do we finally actually like see market momentum based on that? I've been kind of wondering that to myself here over the last week or so, because we've had very positive catalysts for the market that we've been expecting to move us higher. And I'm just wondering, like maybe they're saving something, the fourth announcement to really send the market, but that's just a theory I'm working on.
Ooh, yeah. Interesting. Now we could get into some wild gematria or numerology. That could be fun. I'd have to brush up a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a massive inverse head and shoulders when you really look at it zoomed out.
I mean, yeah, like you got this, right? And you've also got, this did the same thing.
Yeah.
I know that's really good drawings, but
the forever range.
I think we had a super chat Oh, what's up, Scotty?
Scotty.
What's up, bro? Big
Hey,
Scotty, man.
Big
Scotty's a
Scotty.
legend, bro. He's one of the few that calls me when Andy's down and just is like, bro, I got your back. Like, keep pushing. Everyone else is when moon, bro. When price go up, bro. Scotty's like, just keep working hard, bro. You got this.
Yep.
He's a legend, man. Literal legend. All right. Let's address this. Thank you, Blockchain Odyssey, for your generosity. Really appreciate the support, man. So love this channel. Learned a lot from you guys. Question for Max. If Andy goes to 5 billion market cap by May, what would you expect after the sell-off and going into the last leg of the run, going into the fall/winter, also do 10 billion? Well, brother, you made this one easy on me because it's my favorite topic. And boy, do I have a lot of pre-saved drawings for you. Okay. So let me Tommy the chart real quick. Sorry, Tommy. So it's really hard to say like what this cycle could end up looking like, right? Like we've kind of established like DXY starting to puke. We're getting a lot of bullish catalysts. It's getting to be about that time where we should see Bitcoin dominance either put in like one final exhaustive push up, sweeping one more sweep of the high for Bitcoin dominance, which is not bearish for altcoins. It just means that Bitcoin is chatting on the next leg up, which is fine. But we really should see alts start, like the time is now. Like we have like 30 to 45 days for this stuff to start ripping, right? And we're going to know a lot more about like what this cycle will look like when that happens. And it hasn't happened quite yet. Okay. So let me give you an example. So let's actually go back and I'm just going to show you like, so let's look at Bitcoin. And I want to show you how certain altcoins ended up looking last cycle. All right. So just to give you an idea of how crazy things can really get during this last part. All right. So here's the previous cycle all-time high right here for Bitcoin. Now let's pull up Sol. So here was Sol last cycle. And really fresh coin, certainly was not like the Titan that it is now. A lot more speculative, right? Just a brand new L1. Now, Bitcoin breaks through its previous cycle all-time high. Last cycle. Let me turn this off of log. And you can see that, you know, we had our first Bitcoin top here in, you know, April, May. So like altcoins went crazy, right? Like most people thought like, oh my goodness, you know, Sol last cycle as Bitcoin is breaking through the previous all-time high right here, going into price discovery, which is close to where we're at now. We're like somewhere in here. Sol went from, you know, $1 all the way to 60, right? So Sol pulled, you know, 60x, right? 50 or 60x during this first phase of the cycle, right? Then we kind of sell in May, go away, you know, everything falls down, Bitcoin falls down, alts fall down, right? But what I'm really trying to highlight to you is like, this was phase number one, right? This was phase number one where, you know, Sol went crazy, Bitcoin pulled like a 3x. Then out of these summer lows, what you saw for the second part of the cycle was actually just as crazy for altcoins as the first part, even though a lot of them already pulled 50 or 60x's. So Bitcoin from the Shmiko low to the new all-time high, 140% from like you buy the July, August blood, you run it back into Q4. Look what Solana did from its Shmiko low. Solana then went from $15 all the way to $260, another 1,500%. So not every altcoin did that, right? But the point of me showing you this is like somewhere along the way, you know, these altcoins you could sell in May, go away. They could drop 60, 70% and then go on to have another complete altcoin cycle to like run it back after the summer. If it's kind of like what we saw last cycle. So like now bringing this full circle to Andy, I hope I'm kind of making sense with this example where like the first sell-off is like Bitcoin is more or less exhausted. You'll probably make a new high if we run it back, but it won't be too crazy. But like looking at, oops. Oh no. Did my keyboard die? Crap.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Dude, my keyboard's not working. We are in trouble. Hang on. Let me just make sure the Bluetooth didn't just crap out. Oh boy. Nope, it's got 43%. It's just not working. All right, hang on a second. This is so strange. Sorry guys, hang on. Set up keyboard. Disconnect.
Wait, when's playoff football?
Sunday, brother.
Sunday?
Sunday, Chiefs are at 5:30. Commanders, Eagles at 2:30, I believe.
Commanders snuck in there, man.
They did. Well, they beat the Lions to get in there, man. So they deserve it.
Hang on, guys. We're trying to get the keyboard to work here. Give me a second.
Jets
Louis,
just
Louis, who are you going to be voting, rooting for in both games?
I probably want to see the Bills make it. Sorry, brother.
Come
And
on.
I mean, Eagles, Commanders. I'm like, I always root for the underdog, so I'll take the Commanders.
I got it, guys. We're fixed. I can't believe it. We came back from the dead here. Okay. So as it pertains to Andy, I am viewing this as one giant range where people like to kind of break it up into smaller ones, which I think is valid for trading it. But this is one giant range right here. All right. And similarly to, like ETH, right? Let's pull up ETH down below. How and why, ETH trades the way, or I'm sorry, Andy and Pepe trade the way they do. ETH is in just like a giant range here as well. Okay. So we're just stuck in our giant range as long as ETH is stuck in this giant range. So at this point, a lot of you should understand like the correlation between, ETH and Andy and Pepe, right? So it's like if ETH can move to 6, 7, 8K, Andy's going to move a lot, right? Like really, really, really hard. Like if Pepe moves up 10x from here, you're going to see Andy 20 or 30x, right? And when ETH leaves this range down here, Andy's going to leave this range and it's going to be big and it's going to be powerful. I mean, look at the highs, right? It's the same chart. It's a levered chart, right? It's leveraged Ethereum is what it is. Okay. So like what can this cycle look like? Right? Well, a lot of it depends on ETH and a lot of it depends on Pepe. But these are some of my like initial targets, right? So far we've kind of had like 3 ranges, right? Our first peak was at the 2.618 of the first range, of range number 1, and the 1.618 of our second range. Perfect fib confluence basically was the first all-time high. Then we formed range number 3. The 1.618 and the 2.618. So the 1.618 of our range 3 is the 2.618 of range 2. They're perfectly at the same level, 1.3 billion. Then beyond that, you've got your 3.618 of your second range and 3.618 of your first range up at 5. Okay. So what I could see happening is like if ETH rips here, you could get a soul type of situation, right? Or maybe you move up and either like this is your kind of first top sell in May, go away kind of thing. And then we end up running it back to like, 5 billion after the summer. Okay. That could happen. I don't know for sure what it's going to look like. It's going to be really tough right now to figure out what it's going to look like. There's also another scenario where are we? We could do something like this. I think that this range that we're in here this top gray area has a good chance of being like our almost bear market bottom. Like I think we'll, rip up really high. And then I think you'll, come back down a bunch in the bear market and maybe even front run this, so like doesn't hit it perfectly. Like we'll probably come up here, build value, then up, and this will probably be like your bear market low, somewhere like around here. But I think it's also possible that we could do something like what we did over here when we had our first ascension on Andy. Accumulation, brief pause at the 1.618 right here, topped at the 2.618. We could do something similar over here, and go straight up to, 10 billion if Pepe rips a 10x, sell off super hard, in like the summertime, and then even run it back and like put in an aggressive trap like even higher. And we'll have to see what Pepe does, right? So I don't know what it's going to look like, but I know this. Typically, if you buy altcoins during the summer blood, you get like a whole second alt season, right? That's what we've seen in the past. But I don't know exactly what it will look like, right? But I know one thing with a pretty high degree of confidence. All that you're trading by trading Andy and Wolf and Pepe is just on-chain leveraged ETH. That's it. So if ETH 2 or 3x's, Andy's going to 30x from here. The correlations are there to prove it, right? It's not subjective. We have the data. So all you're waiting on is ETH to get off the mat. That's literally it, right? And this stuff can change really quickly, right? Like just as quick as it's so over, we can be so back in a big way, right? And I'll show this example, okay? God, DXY looks fried, bro. DXY looks absolutely cooked. So let's talk about this example. So I also think there's a chance we're doing something like this right now. Like right now on Andy. Feels so similar to me. Where we just saw like our final kind of like deviation trap. I really think there's a chance we could be doing something like this. I really do. And I mean, the charts look similar. The projects move almost damn near identical. And, I think we're getting into that like real, kind of deep value territory. And it's coming at a perfect time when, I mean, look at this, man. This was, this right here was February. This was February right here. This was first week of February. So I really think that things can change like so quickly on this stuff. And I am quite excited for this next phase, guys. Like I am I am really excited. And I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised here. I think
Big
a lot
level. Big
will
level.
be surprised. They like to come in here on the darkest of days and troll and make fun. And I'm pretty excited about this next part. And I think it's going to happen. Here's ETH down below. Like we even had the same, look at this for ETH. Let's do this. Blue. And then you had this kind of pop up. right here. And then you had the January Jeet. Oops. Hang on. And you did the same thing here for Pepe last cycle. A lot of you guys will remember me covering this exact point in time live on YouTube here for Pepe last cycle. The videos are still up on YouTube. One of them has like 500 views of me talking about Pepe right in here, being like, you need to buy this thing. It's going to happen. It's going to be crazy. And I'm seeing the same setup right now on the most premier beta. And a lot of people are struggling right now because they're missing the bigger picture here. They're missing the bigger picture on this. The bigger picture is that we're in some like giant reaccumulation between 300 mil and, you know, like 100 mil, 80 mil. And you're probably about to see ETH do this, in my opinion. You know, get above this high. And I think it's going to be even crazier than the move that Pepe was a beneficiary of last Q1. So we just covered a super chat. Oh, did we get another one? I was just yapping, bro. This is still part of the first super chat that I'm going over here. So
There's a few, Max.
Let the man cook.
a lot of people are getting shaken out right now. A lot of people are missing the bigger picture. They're trying to trade this. They're trying to trade this range and overtrade this range, when all of the analysis that I've been posting for months has been about all you're betting on is a big ETH breakout. That's literally it. All you're betting on is ETH 2 or 3xing, and Andy's going to 20, 30, 40x from these prices. And it's sitting right here in front of everybody right now. And, you know, I don't know what else to say. Like, the only thing that gets in the way of this happening is ETH just can't get off the mat, right? Which I think at this point it's going to. I think the president is shoving 9 figures of ETH. So, I mean, look, some people, they have the guts to play something like this. Others don't. And everybody views Pepe as safe now, and it is. But when we were covering Pepe over here in Q4 and Q1, you know, Q1 of 2024 and Q4 of 2023, it was not safe. And we shoved with size aggressively, publicly. It's all on YouTube, and we were rewarded greatly for that risk. And it was not easy, especially on that last drop. And there was a similar, and it's even funny how like the narratives are starting to line up too, where like there was a liquidity vacuum attack here on Pepe when Pauly launched his coin Pork or whatever, his attempted fork of Pepe. And here we saw the liquidity vacuum of Donald Trump force us probably 30% lower than we needed to go, because billions of liquidity was pulled from other on-chain projects, including Andy, to go chase Trump coin. So there's even a similar, like, you know, fundamental catalyst for sending us to that final capitulatory low. So some people see it, some people don't. It's not for everybody, but I think there's a pretty good chance that we see something wild here this quarter. And I'll be damned if I get shaken out, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm expecting billions, and I won't be selling until then. So
When Chud Jack Max. Billions.
billions must try.
Billions must try.
Was there another super chat here? Can you do a
For
Brett
Brett.
chart with price targets? Yeah, I can do a Brett chart. But yeah, man, this needs to be studied.
Mm-hmm. It looks pretty damn similar, Max. I'm not gonna lie. Pull a range on the other one.
Check level, big level.
Dude, even the same deviation below the mid range. I mean, what are we talking about?
What's the 2618 there?
You wouldn't get it, bro.
You wouldn't.
I'll leave that for another day.
012. Oh my.
Just wait.
It looks good, man. It looks good.
I mean, it's like 10 bill or something like that. A little over 10 bill. Like 10 billion.
So almost 100x.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Same thing, man. We even had this bullshit over here on ETH for Pepe, man. We even had this same bullshit right here. Same playbook. Huge holder overlap, the whole thing, man. People just don't want to see it. It's okay. They can be here to watch us victory lap on market check when the time comes, and we will.
what's the quote? Hate me or love me, you watched.
Yep.
What was the guy's name?
He's the bowler.
Yeah, I
The
know. I
goat.
know. God, what was his name? It's so good. It's a great quote.
The I am guy.
The bowler.
Tug speed.
Yeah, it's the same guy, Bluey.
Yeah.
Tug
You
speed.
I have. Absolute legend.
Les Grossman arc, Tommy.
Truly few.
Man.
An iconic American classic of cinema.
All right. Someone asked about Brett. Thank you for the super chat. Here. I've got a Brett ticker. I think Brett's in deep value here. You kind of had your final inefficiency filled for Brett right here. I think you're just doing kind of like a bullish compression here. I also think that Brett is in one giant range from like right here down. I mean, it literally looks like Andy. I mean, they all kind of move the same, right? People are always like, bro, why didn't you talk about Brett? Why didn't you talk about Brett? I'm like, Brett doesn't really need me to talk about it, man. It has a guy that's already talking about it all the time. He's got a much bigger following than me, and like they're huge. Like I posted a tweet and it was like about the boys club, and everyone's like, Brett, why wasn't Brett in there? I'm like, dude, I own a ton of Brett. Like I'm not excluding Brett intentionally. It just like, you know. But anyways, I think you can look for something like this. I would expect this region to hold more or less, like somewhere around here. And I think you're going to see some like confluence. If you can start to get ETH to move, you'll flip this mid range and this little normie diagonal. Big level. Should start to move up pretty quickly, I would think. Once you get back into price discovery, I mean, like cycle targets for Brett, like I think you just throw on some fibs and keep an eye on them, truthfully. Like I would think that the 1618 is kind of a soft toss at 40 cents, but 2618 at $1.30, $1.40, probably more realistic, I would think. So I would say just like quickly looking at it, this is probably my expectation. I also think there's a lot of significance in the Brett Pepe pair chart, which we've talked about here before, where it's just kind of bleeding back into like range low, but it's got this crazy diagonal trend line that's been suppressing price for months. I think your big move on Brett is going to come after Pepe starts moving. Like you might see Pepe lead the next leg, And what you probably see is like one final nuke on this pair, which is not a nuke on Brett USD. It's just the pair chart, right? So Pepe could just go up more, send this down into mega demand, get a little PO3, then break it up, and then kind of figure out from there like what we think is realistic for this pair. I would say at minimum a run back to the high here, which is like, you know, a 300% move. But, you know, we'll see kind of how crazy things get on base, which I think is the big question mark. Like, do we see that crazy rotation into base later in the cycle? And if so, then maybe we start targeting some fibs. But I would just say, like, you're getting really close to like the most ideal demand zone on the Brett Pepe pair, which I like quite a bit. You got this crazy diagonal suppression, which is just a coil right with mega demand below. I think this would be an awesome opportunity, but, you know, might require some patience, and you don't know if you're going to get it either. But yeah, that's generally my expectations on Brett. Is just it's going to continue to just trade like it's just Pepe beta. You know what I mean? It's just another meme titan. So
I think right now Brett is kind of suffering from maybe it got too big too quickly on a chain that, you know, doesn't have quite the liquidity to be able to sustain at least where it peaked out. I'm not sure what market cap it was exactly. What, like 10
it was about
billion?
it was about 2 billion.
Okay, way lower than I thought, but still a $2 or $3 billion meme on base is, you know, that's pretty extreme given the relative liquidity on that chain versus other places. So
early too, right?
Yeah.
So early. We haven't seen any base tokens do that again yet. I'm sure some will, but yeah.
The comments.
Yeah. All right. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, it's just like now's the time, guys. Like, this is, in my view, like the clock is really ticking on ETH beta because the clock is ticking for ETH. We are 100% on the clock here. I think ETH needs to move immediately. Like, I told our Discord this on the morning call this morning. I think that if ETH is not literally like 60 to 100% higher in the next 20 to 30 days, we might have a problem. Like, there is no better time than right now. Like, by the second half of February, we need to be like trying to bust through that 4K level at a minimum. At a minimum, probably through it already. I don't know if you guys on the panel agree with me, but like,
I
that's
agree. I agree with the. I absolutely agree with the statement. I think if it's not, it just to me confirms, you know, that personal theory I have that it's going to be a longer cycle than people expect.
Damn, Wolf is just chatting today, bro. Up 36%.
I saw last night on NextC, I think it's the chart, but it did like 100% pump with the giant wick.
Gosh.
Yeah, so someone shoved a crap ton on NextC last night. Yeah, that guy.
Who is that?
That's the bowling guy. You never seen that video where he's like, "Who do you think you are? I am."
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, we had like a hype video we did that with. No, but this is what I was saying the other day about kind of both Andy and Wolf, is that I was somewhat confident that we were gonna kind of fully bottom as a market because Wolf and Andy looked pretty damn floored. And like back in August or September, beta looked incredibly floored, and that was like we just went up from there. So there was some signal in, you know, further down the risk curve assets being floored out for majors essentially, and then majors went up, and then everything went up. So yeah, I think, you know, Wolf and Andy definitely gave some signal the other day.
Mega demand.
Pete Weber, that's his name. Pete Weber. That's the
I'll
one.
send you your stimmy for that on Sol, Max, because the transaction cost will be cheaper.
Thank you.
Sorry. Let's see what else looks good. Should we look at some of the AI agent coins, or are those topped? Is Fartcoin the barometer of AI agent health?
I was gonna say Fartcoin's probably the whole sector barometer.
Is the sector eating beans? Sorry, that was bad.
Hang on, let's see. Fartcoin. Let's see.
Seems like every AI coin is kind of bleeding. Even the Danny one.
Did I have this on log? Did this hit something? Oh man. I didn't trade it. I've never even owned this, but that was pretty close. That was pretty close. 2618.
Back to support, which is good.
Yeah, I wonder where. I don't think it's gonna bottom here, man. I think you gotta come a little bit lower. Probably just barely lose like $1 billion, scare some people. You know, maybe somewhere in there. Maybe you come all the way back down to 900 mil. I don't know, but
hey,
yeah.
Anon is starting to look a bit toppy here.
I know it is. On Sonic. What's your view on Sonic, by the way? Is there wait SUSDT? There's no. We gotta look at
new chart immediately gets sold into.
Yeah, the SUSDT chart. There's nothing there, but this is still the same thing, right? 55 cents.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. FTM looks like it's doing the exact same thing that it did at the start of 2023. Like almost the exact same thing.
FTM.
Double top. Bleed.
What, here?
Yeah.
You're saying like this,
it looks the same.
You're saying like this was here?
Maybe.
You're just gonna do that.
It's not really a structure that I would be chomping at the bit to long.
No.
But you did just sweep the low, so you could definitely see a bounce here.
I think you could probably come into there. If I had to guess,
eventually this will break out and it probably will be worth holding, but it might take some time. I actually enjoyed using Sonic, like on a side note. I don't know about you, Tucker, but super quick.
It's so fast. It's I think Andre said subsonic like finality or whatever, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I love using the chain. There's not anything to do, but in my brief experience, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, there's not really anything to do on it, but
I'm keeping an eye on it. Let's see, what else is there to look at? What do you guys think about Sui here?
I wouldn't be dying to bid it.
You know, we could be seeing a short-term top, but I mean, this Sui's been running hard while a lot of the market hasn't been. So, you know, a lot of these things take turns pumping. You know, something I say all the time is, you know, once we get fully fledged into the bull market, you know, different tokens, different sectors take turns, you know, pumping. So this one had a nice run, right? I'm not saying it's over. I'm sure it's going to go a lot higher from here, but you know, you could see some short-term consolidation pullback here for sure. But who knows? It could just keep ripping. You don't really know. But not something I'd be chasing up here.
What about Mog? I agree with y'all's stance on Sui. I just want, how long is this distribution phase of it going to last, I guess is my question. But yeah, I'd like to look at Mog as well, because if Pepe's having a good day, Pepe Beta seems to be having a good day. Mog looks better than any other cat coin. I think this doesn't actually this really doesn't look that bad.
I always forget that Mog is a cat coin, bro.
Same. I don't think of it as a cat coin at all.
I just view the glasses.
It trades like a cat coin.
That it does.
You have to get it to love you. It's not just gonna love you automatically.
What a funny and accurate take that was, Tommy. You got to earn their love. Unlike dog coins, man. They'll love anything.
Straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, you think it's something like that?
It has to be, right? It either is a Livermore cylinder type of setup, or it's just lagging the Popcat chart.
Lagging the Popcat chart. That would not be a good thing, huh?
No. Where is Popcat trading today?
Oh, it's Livermore, bro. It's Livermore for sure.
Oh my God, Popcat's at 50 cents.
I mean, that's really
unbelievable.
Draw it like that, I guess. Yeah, so what's this level like? Whatever market cap that is up there.
This is such an evil chart.
I know.
Breakout buyers just
Did Mog get listed on Coinbase, or did I make that up?
It
it did.
It's like, oh, you bought the top. Enjoy this 70% drawdown.
Yeah, welcome to Coinbase. All right, same thing with Pepe. Welcome to Coinbase.
I wonder what the volumes look like. Top coins.
Speaking of cat coins, I know Miggles caught a bid recently. I think, is that one listed on Coinbase too?
Did they list it?
Popcat?
Maybe there's rumors about it.
No, this other cat
Toshi.
coin, Miggles. Toshi, they listed, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But they've hinted, Coinbase has hinted at Miggles.
Yeah.
I think a while ago.
I mean, this looks pretty good.
Somebody really wants a render chart.
I know, I saw that. Let's do that.
Jeez, Mog is not getting the best volume today on Coinbase. Dog with Hat is doing more volume than Mog on Giga Chad's doing more volume than Mog on Coinbase.
Man, this looks like ETH, bro.
This looks
exactly like ETH, man.
Wow. It looks good here.
Yeah, I would say it's probably. Let's see. I don't even know if it's made the move that ETH made like this morning. No, it hasn't. So yeah, I'd be bullish on this if I'm bullish on ETH. Yeah.
Bitcoin's starting to pump a little bit.
106.5. ETH almost 3,400. Trying.
3,400 is a big level for ETH.
Yes, it is.
Recaptured 3,400. That's a good start.
Hold on.
To start the climb.
I'd be pretty encouraged if we're bullishly consolidating up here by the time Monday comes around.
Mr. Magoo needs CRV. Says it's about to 10x.
My thing with CRV is like the same thing as XRP and XLM. Like the big trade on these beta tokens was more the catch up to the first DeFi leg for something like Aave, because obviously things like Curve were beaten down much more than Aave were relative to their all-time highs.
I know,
So,
like what's
first move. XRP gives the first move. The beta catches up, usually does more multiples, and then I feel like usually you see the alpha start to outperform after that again. Aave is insane. Shout out to Louis for calling this one back at like
yeah. That was a nice little winner in a crap market. I wish I held it longer.
This reminds me of Link, bro. It reminds me of Chainlink, the range down there. But Curve, I mean,
Curve gave the PO3.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
But you were really betting on a downtrend that lasted for over 3 years no longer persisting. That's the tough thing with a curve play in hindsight is always 2020.
I mean, I could see curve being like, you know, in there. Right. Especially like same with actually that didn't really give a little consolidation. What's another one that
Most
Uni's
of them are pretty
ugly?
bad. Maybe Athena.
No,
What are you looking for?
just this little consolidation after it breaks out from range highs. You know what I mean? Like,
Telcoin's doing that right now.
Nostalgic bag.
You got to zoom out, maybe even a little higher, but yeah.
yeah, it is.
I think Telcoin rips the new highs this cycle.
I mean, it looks pretty good. Does it look like Doge a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
The normies will love Telcoin. Whenever the normies come back in mass, the normies will love Telcoin.
Look at
Unit
that.
cost, great fundamental play.
It's literally
Yeah.
Doge.
If they get approval for basically the first crypto bank in the United States, it's I think it's gonna
Quietly
fly.
cooking.
Yeah.
Doge and Telcoin look identical, by the way.
Yeah. I haven't noticed that. That's interesting.
That's great.
I mean, identical. Wow.
Ooh, Launchpad.
Launchpad. Except the all-time high for Tel is much farther away than it is for Doge.
Yeah,
Did they like? Was there unlocks or something here?
I don't know. I was
With Tel, yeah. There was some farming that was done for like a year or two that suppressed price a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
that chart's insane.
Yeah.
I think Louis, when they launched their app, there were LPs that you could farm that diluted the supply a little bit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Ticker Bitcoin is wrecked. Yeah, it is. I was looking at it the other day. I couldn't believe that chart, man. That thing is literally just like zero bid.
What is this? FLT.
Dude, you remember when that guy sold ticker Bitcoin and then bought 52 wrapped Bitcoin at like 62K?
Yes.
Chad.
Giga Chad.
Turned into an amazing trade.
Amazing trade.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
God, that the ticker Bitcoin chart is pure pain. Honestly, pure pain.
Man,
dude, it's like the VIX. It literally looks like the VIX to me.
Dude, it's bonk.
It is bonk.
It's bonk, man. Wow. That's crazy. I don't know why that just came to me.
I have a theory that when ticker Bitcoin pumps, like we are within weeks of like a very long-term top.
The intergalactic top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's a good
crazy.
meme, though. But I think it's a pretty good spot to look to wrap things up, unless there is any other coins that you guys have that you think are particularly pressing today. But I think we covered a lot. Honestly, you know, we covered memes, majors, talked a little bit about DeFi, obviously the dollar as well. There's not really too much to discuss regarding equities other than, you know, the fact that the dollar does look very topped. But
I would say just you know, Bitcoin mining stocks. It might be time. Might be time.
I
maybe
agree
look
with that,
at
Louis.
a minute or two.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that, Louis. The window is right now.
Yeah.
Any particular pick, Louis, that sticks out to you?
I bought some Mara yesterday. Specifically, like U.S. Bitcoin miners, right? Like if they're going to continue to bang the drum on U.S. being like the crypto capital of the world, who not to benefit more than U.S. Bitcoin mining companies, right? And even U.S. crypto companies. Like I bought Mary yesterday, and I bought Coinbase yesterday. Coinbase stock. Both look ready to rip. Both up pretty well today. So yeah, I think it's time for those stocks to start ripping as well. The seasonality, and the kind of rhetoric we have going on right now with the new presidential team coming in. So that's what I did. You do.
Love it. I love it. I'll have to check out some of the minor stocks after we go off air. But yeah, that seems like everything from us, guys. Before we can send you on your merry way, though, I'm going to share my screen here really, really briefly, just to talk to you about some of the ways that you can potentially join the Because Bitcoin family. If you enjoyed anything that you heard today, like I said, obviously we covered quite a few topics today, pretty much every relevant sector within crypto, as we do in our Discord, guys. I mean, I have said this before, but as a collective hive mind, there is pretty much nothing that we miss as a team. So make sure to come check out our Discord. It is going to be your go-to source of alpha. We've had some amazing testimonials from our members. And of course, we give you guys 4 to 5 hours of daily live stream calls like I said, daily, every single day. And that's not an exaggeration either. Sometimes we will go over 5 hours, but you get access to our thoughts on the market, at times even our positioning. So check out the BB Discord. And we were nice enough to package your go-to source of alpha with your go-to tool of the cycle. Make sure to check out the BB terminal, whether or not you are an active trader trading lower time frames, whether or not you are a long-term investor looking to make more educated data-driven decisions to influence your long-term investments. We've got the tool for you. And soon, whether you are an on-chain degen, you love meme coins, you love AI agents, we will have the tool for you as well when we roll out our degen section. So make sure to take advantage of the BB terminal at these prices. Like I said, we did package these two products together for you so you can potentially get both at discounted rates. But yeah, those are linked in the description below. Of course, if you're interested in honing your educational base or even reaching trading level mastery, we've got a course for you as well, run by the BB team, guys. Come learn from every single member of the team and obviously I always say the biggest value proposition in the BB Academy is just how many different styles we have as a team. There is no one size fits all in this market. There are a lot of ways to conquer it at the end of the day. And the BB Academy really gives you a lot of opportunity to kind of pick your own, trading style while learning and, like I said, honing your educational base, reaching trading level mastery. So check that out as well. But maybe, the volatility in the market this week got to you. I'll be honest. It was a lot at times. Picking winners at the same time has been a little bit difficult too. That's why we give you guys the opportunity. We have an SEC registered hedge fund. If you are interested in having the team manage money for you, check out BB Wealth Management. Also linked in the description below, like everything else that I've mentioned over the last 2 weeks. And a reminder, 2 weeks, 2 minutes. And a reminder that we trade digital assets in a way that looks to capture their asymmetric history for upside returns while also balancing the downside risk posed in any financial market. So like I said, check that out in the description below. This is the final episode of Market Check this week. We will be back next week, though. Fret not. We have nothing over the weekend, but maybe the market does give us some reason, of course, to be active in our premium Discord. So if you are not a member and you want to hear from us over the weekend, again, make sure to check that out. But Market Check will go live once again on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. And yeah, we run Monday through Friday every single day whenever the New York Stock Exchange is open. Last but certainly not least, tune in for Wabi's show Market Talk, which will be going live this afternoon and hosted through his account as well as the Because Bitcoin X account. And he is live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. But yeah, guys, make sure to follow those accounts so you can be notified not just when they start those spaces, but also when they go live. But thanks again, guys. That is it for the show. Have a great weekend. If you're a football enjoyer, enjoy some playoff football. If you're not, spend some time outside. I don't know, whatever floats your boat to enjoy your weekend, kind of detox a little bit, but we'll be back to see you on Monday nevertheless. Thank you guys as always. And of course, stay safe.